Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about knowledge versus ignorance. In the presentation, I have the following outline. I'm going to talk about possessing the right knowledge. Then I will also explain the difference between ignorance and deception. And I'll talk about the costs of ignorance and deception and how this can affect the individual and even an entire generation. Then I'll summarize the presentation and I'll end the presentation with an optional prayer. So let's get started. Knowledge is key to everything in this world. And in this life, before you can do anything and succeed at it and actually make positive impact into the world, you need to possess the right kind of knowledge. Now, not all knowledge is good for your success. There's also knowledge that can mislead you or create things for you that can destroy you. So there's good knowledge and then there's bad knowledge. Good knowledge is knowledge meant to build you up, knowledge meant to help you succeed, knowledge meant to point you in the right direction. However, bad knowledge is knowledge, that will mislead you, or knowledge that will point you in a direction that will eventually destroy you at the end of the day. Good knowledge will build you up, and then bad knowledge will destroy you. Now, ignorance is a lack of knowledge and understanding. So if someone lacks knowledge or the person doesn't really understand how things work, that person is ignorant or that person lacks knowledge. Now, deception is falsehood based on knowledge meant to mislead. Now, those who are deceived actually have some kind of knowledge, but the only thing here is that the knowledge that they have is not based on the truth. It is based on falsehood. And this falsehood is actually meant to mislead them, in a different direction away from the truth. Now, ignorance and deception are both dangerous and they can both destroy the individual, in the long run. And many people do not accept that they are ignorant, or they are being deceived, until they actually get to the end of their journey, which sometimes may be too late for them to turn around or for them to actually make certain corrections to certain mistakes they've done in the past, Now, the knowledge of truth is the only thing which can help an individual break free from the cycle of ignorance and deception, because it is when you know the truth that you can spot ignorance when you see one. It is when you know the truth that you can spot deception when you see one. Without knowledge of the truth, when ignorance or deception is actually heading towards your direction, you would embrace it without even knowing how it is going to destroy you in the end. Now, ignorance comes at a very huge cost to the individual, and ignorance can deprive the individual of a whole lot of things, which could actually potentially make the individual succeed in life. Now, deception is even worse than ignorance because those who are deceived, have some kind of knowledge. But the only thing here is that the kind of knowledge that they have is not the truth. It is based on falsehood. And this falsehood is meant to cause them to deviate, away from the truth, probably in a direction which would actually make it difficult for them or impossible for them to ever recover or find out what the truth really is. And ignorance and deception can both destroy your destiny, because when you're ignorant, it means you don't understand how things work. And when you're being deceived, it means that you are being fed with falsehood. And these two things, lead you away from the reality, and they lead you away from what is true. And once you are being led away from what is true, definitely you're headed towards destruction. And most of the time it's difficult to even spot this destruction, and most people end up even getting to know that no, this path we took didn't help us, and they realize this at the point of no return, usually when it's difficult to turn around. Now, the destruction that these two things, ignorance and deception, can actually cause can move away from an individual to even an entire generation. An entire generation can be deceived, and that deception can actually destroy all of them, and the entire generation could be a descendant of a family or people in a particular community or a large group of people found in some kind of group or whatever it is. Once they are being deceived and they are deliberately pointed in a particular direction meant to destroy them, it's possible that they can all move towards that path of destruction. But there is hope, because everybody in this life actually has free will. And once you use your free will and exercise it correctly, you can actually make the decision to look for truth in a very fair and open and objective manner. And once you use this free will and you discover the truth The truth will put you in a better position that you can actually spot deception when you see one, and you can actually spot ignorance when you see one, and you can actually decide to walk away from those two. So let's summarize everything that we've spoken about in this presentation. Knowledge is key to everything in this world. Before you can do anything in this world, you need the relevant kind of knowledge before you can succeed. And not all knowledge is good for your success. Some knowledge can be meant to actually destroy you, and the destruction can be very huge. Now, there's ignorance and deception amongst many people. Many people in this world, are either ignorant or being deceived, or they don't really understand how certain things actually work. And this is a very big problem with some of the people, in this world. And both ignorance and deception can actually destroy your destiny. And the destruction can move from an individual even to an entire generation. The knowledge of the truth is the only thing that can help an individual break free from the cycle of ignorance and deception. So at this point, if you are willing, please, I would like you to pray this prayer with me. Dear God, I come before you with a sincere heart. Grant me understanding in life and transform me forever. Save me from ignorance and deception. I thank you for listening to my prayer. Amen. And if you pray this prayer, I believe that a God who made everything possible in this life will reveal things to you and open your eyes and understanding beyond means you could ever imagine. Stay blessed. And if you're able to make it to this point in my presentation, I would like to thank you very much for making the time to watch. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.